I know, Jenna, he's totally right. There are a few things that keep showing up over and over again in our story, too. Yes, and the acorn and the open window. I know! These must mean something, right? Hey everyone, welcome back to the Book Nook. Did you catch that phone call with Jenna? Get this. Her cousin Jason wrote to us with a clever observation. Let's dive into his latest letter to see what I mean.
Dear Caroline, I've been thinking about something cool that I wanted to share with you. Have you ever noticed how certain things show up over and over in a story? Like a repeated word, object, action, or even a moment? I think when authors do that, it's not just by accident. I think they're doing it on purpose, maybe to help us notice something important. Sometimes those repeating things can be symbols that point to the big idea of the story, the theme. Take Alice's adventures in Wonderland, for example. Alice keeps growing and shrinking all throughout the story, usually at the worst times. It seems frustrating and confusing for her, and I started to wonder, maybe that's the point. Maybe it's showing how confusing it can feel to grow up, like you're always changing and you never quite know where you fit. That helped me understand the theme of this story a little more. What do you think? Have you ever noticed anything repeating like that in your book? Your friend, Jason.
Isn't that such a great observation? Think back to when we were reading informational texts and we learned to pause and ponder. This is just like that. Authors use repetition to help us notice something important. And it's kind of like they're saying, hey, reader, this matters, pay attention. So we pause and ponder what it might mean. When we see something show up over and over, we can ask ourselves, when does this show up in the story? Who or what is it connected to? What might it stand for or represent? Let's check out how this shows up in Peter Pan. Let's head into the pages and take a closer look at two things that I noticed keep showing up: the acorn and the window. We've seen both of these before in the story. Take the acorn, for example. Peter gave Wendy the acorn earlier when she was upset with him about taking credit for the shadow, remember? And now here we are again. Wendy falls, the lost boys panic, it looks like she's been hit by an arrow, but then there it is, the acorn. It's the thing that saved her. To think about why the acorn keeps showing up, let's pause and ponder. When does this show up in the story? Who or what is it connected to? What might it stand for or represent? Okay, the acorn first showed up as a gift from Peter to Wendy. She sometimes touches it or holds on to it when she thinks about Peter and their friendship. And now it's saved her life. It's connected to Peter, Wendy, and their friendship. So what might the acorn stand for or represent? Pause here and write down your thoughts. Here's what I'm thinking. Maybe the acorn stands for protection. Maybe it's a sign of how Peter cares for Wendy, even if he pretends he doesn't, or doesn't tell her out loud. It might also be a symbol of their friendship, which is important to Wendy in this wild, unfamiliar place. By the way, it's totally okay if you had a different idea. That's the cool thing about interpreting, or figuring out the meaning behind, symbols and themes. There's usually not just one right answer. Different readers might notice different meanings depending on what they're paying attention to, or what parts of the story speak to them most. The important thing is that you pause and ponder, and try to understand why the author might be repeating something and what it helps us see. So now, let's pause and ponder the window. Before she left home, Wendy kept thinking about that open window. She believed it would always be there, just in case she needed to come back. Later in the chapter we just read, the Lost Boys build Wendy a house. They're so excited to take care of her, and when it's finished, Peter throws open the door and says, "For you, Wendy lady." Wendy walks inside, still holding the acorn, and what does she notice? A window, just slightly open, and it makes her think of her window at home. Did your mind pause here? Mine sure did. It was like, wait, this isn't the first time we've read about the window. It's been part of the story from the very start. It keeps popping up. Let's ask the same questions again. When does this show up in the story? Think back to earlier in the story. The open window is what Peter first came through to begin with when he first arrived in the nursery. Wendy has the courage to leave because she believes the window will always be open. And she thinks about it when she feels afraid on the flight to Neverland. Now that we've paused and remembered when the window shows up in the story, let's take a moment to ponder. Write down your thoughts to each question. First, who or what is the window connected to? The window is literally connected to Wendy's home, her nursery where she spends her childhood with her brothers. It's also connected to her parents, since she believes they will always keep it open for her to come back through if she wants to. Okay, next question. What might it stand for or represent? Maybe the window is a symbol of home, a reminder that someone is waiting for her, or that she hasn't fully let go of the idea of returning someday. Maybe it's about feeling safe and remembered. Did you write some similar ideas? It's okay if they were different, as long as you're thinking about when these symbols appear, who and what they are connected to, and what they might represent. Wow, we've made some great observations. When we pause and ponder, we're doing deep thinking as readers. We're noticing the author's purposeful choices and thinking about what they might mean. It's kind of amazing, right? These small things, just an acorn and a window, can help us understand big feelings and even bigger ideas. We realized when something shows up over and over, it's often a clue, a symbol. And that symbol might be pointing us toward a theme. Last time we talked about how Peter Pan might share a message about growing up, but remember, there can be more than one theme to a story. Maybe this story is also about friendship and how we show we care. Or maybe it's about home and what it means to feel safe or remembered. Or maybe it's something else we haven't uncovered just yet. We're going to keep exploring the messages Peter Pan helps us think about. Keep an eye out for the acorn and window coming up again as the story continues. And I'll see you back here next time at the Book Nook. Hey.